When Marcel returns home early from work to his small apartment in Lisbon, Portugal, he expects a quiet evening. Instead, he finds his younger sister, Sofia, in her room, lying on her bed with their family dog, Luna, in an unusual scene that stops him cold. Sofia is calm, her hands gently stroking Luna's fur, the dog's weight pressing against her in a way that seems oddly intimate yet serene. What begins as a shocking moment unravels into a deeper revelation about Sofia's secret struggle with grief and anxiety following their father's sudden death 2 years prior. Marcel, wrestling with his own guilt and confusion, must navigate the fine line between protecting his sister and confronting the community's harsh judgment in their close-knit neighborhood. What would you do if you discovered a loved one's private healing ritual was misunderstood by others? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gripping tales. Marcel's boots echoed softly on the tiled floor of their Lisbon apartment, the faint hum of trams outside blending with the city's evening pulse. It was a Tuesday, earlier than usual for him to be home from the shipyard, but a rare half-day left him craving the comfort of routine. The apartment smelled of salt air and the lingering warmth of his mother's bacalhau from last night. He dropped his keys on the counter, expecting to find his 16-year-old sister, Sofia, hunched over her sketchbooks or scrolling on her phone. Instead, the silence felt heavy, like the air before a storm. He knocked lightly on Sofia's door, more out of habit than necessity. No answer. Pushing it open, he froze. There, on the narrow bed, was Sofia, eyes closed, her face serene in a way he hadn't seen in years. Luna, their lanky Portuguese water dog, lay across her chest, her furry bulk rising and falling with Sofia's slow breaths. Sofia's hands moved rhythmically through Luna's black curls, her expression one of complete peace. For a moment, Marcel didn't know whether to laugh, shout, or back away. The scene was innocent yet jarring, too intimate for a dog and a teenage girl. His mind raced, confusion, protectiveness, and a flicker of fear colliding. This wasn't the Sofia he thought he knew. What had he walked into? 2 years ago, their father, João, had been the heart of their family. A marine biologist, his laughter filled their Alfama home as he taught Sofia to identify fish species from his textbooks, Luna bounding around them, a puppy then, her oversized paws slipping on the hardwood. João had chosen Luna from a local shelter, drawn to her empathetic eyes and boundless energy, a gift for Sofia's 14th birthday. "She'll keep you grounded," he'd said, ruffling Sofia's hair. Marcel, then 22, had watched with quiet pride, balancing his shipyard apprenticeship with dreams of studying engineering. João's death, a sudden stroke at 45, shattered their world. Marcel still remembered the hospital's sterile chill, the beep of machines fading into silence. Their mother, Clara, a seamstress, threw herself into work to keep them afloat, leaving Marcel to fill the gaps. Sofia, once vibrant, grew quiet, her sketchbooks abandoned for João's old marine biology journals. Marcel thought it was her way of staying close to their father, but now, standing in her doorway, he wondered what he'd missed. Marcel's hands shook as he closed Sofia's door, retreating to the kitchen. His mind churned with questions. Was this normal? Was Sofia okay? The image of Luna draped across her haunted him, not because it was wrong, but because it felt like a secret he wasn't meant to see. He thought of their tight-knit Alfama neighborhood, where gossip spread faster than the Tagus River's current. If anyone else saw this, it could ruin Sofia. Lisbon's old streets carried whispers like wind, and a single misstep could brand their family forever. He recalled Señora Almeida, their nosy neighbor, who watched the street from her balcony like a hawk. She'd once scolded Sofia for wearing a too-short skirt, her voice carrying to half the block. If she caught wind of this, the story would morph into something sordid by morning. Marcel's stomach twisted. He was supposed to protect Sofia, But how could he when he didn't understand what he'd seen? Sofia's calm broke the next morning when Marcel confronted her over breakfast. "What was going on yesterday?" he asked, his voice low but firm. Sofia's fork froze midair, her eyes darting to Luna, who lay at her feet. "It's not what you think," she mumbled, cheeks flushing. She explained in halting words, the panic attacks that started months after Joao's death, triggered by the smell of salt water or the sight of fishing boats, reminders of her father's world. She'd hidden them, not wanting to burden Clara or Marcel, who were already stretched thin. Sofia had turned to Joao's journals, finding notes on animal-assisted therapy for trauma. Luna, it turned out, wasn't just a pet. Joao had chosen her for her calm temperament, trained to sense distress. During Sofia's worst moments, when her chest tightened and the world blurred, Luna would climb onto her, her weight grounding Sofia's racing heart. The pressure, Sofia learned, mimicked deep pressure therapy, a technique Joao had studied for anxious children. "It's like Dad's still here," she whispered, tears spilling. "Luna helps me breathe." By Thursday, the whispers began. Senora Almeida had seen Luna leap onto Sofia's bed through an open window, her sharp eyes catching the inappropriate scene. By Friday, the local cafe buzzed with rumors. "Joao's daughter, lost without her father," one woman said, shaking her head. "That dog's too close for comfort," another muttered. Marcel overheard it all, his fists clenching. He wanted to shout the truth, but fear stopped him. Their family's reputation hung by a thread, and Clara's sewing business relied on community goodwill. At home, Marcel found Sofia curled up with Luna, Joao's journal open to a page about canine therapy. "Dad knew I'd need her," she said, showing him a letter tucked inside. Joao had written it before his death, detailing Luna's training and how her presence could calm anxiety. "If you ever feel lost," it read, "let Luna guide you back." Marcel's throat tightened. His father had seen this coming, preparing a lifeline for Sofia that Marcel had failed to notice. Clara returned from a late shift, her face drawn. She'd heard the rumors at the market, the cold stares from women who once offered her extra bread. "What's happening with Sofia?" she asked, her voice trembling. Marcel explained everything, Sofia's panic attacks, Luna's role, Joao's foresight. Clara's eyes filled with tears, not of anger, but of guilt. "I should have seen it," she said. "I was too busy surviving." They called a family meeting, Sofia's hands shaking as she shared her story. Marcel watched her strength, a quiet resilience that echoed Joao's calm under pressure. They decided to confront the rumors head-on, organizing a community gathering at the local church hall. Marcel would speak, armed with Joao's research and Sofia's courage. The church hall was packed, neighbors' faces a mix of curiosity and judgment. Senora Almeida sat in the back, arms crossed. Marcel stood tall, holding Joao's journal. "My sister isn't broken," he began, his voice steady. "She's healing, using methods our father studied." He explained animal-assisted therapy, reading Joao's letter aloud. Sofia joined him, her voice soft but clear, describing her panic attacks and how Luna's weight saved her from drowning in fear. Luna, brought to the hall, demonstrated her training, lying calmly beside a nervous child from the audience. Gasps turned to murmurs of awe. Senora Almeida's stern face softened, her eyes glistening as she admitted her mistake. "I saw what I wanted to see," she said, her apology silencing the room. Other neighbors shared stories of their own struggles, inspired by Sofia's openness. The meeting changed everything. The community rallied around Sofia, offering support instead of judgment. Clara's business picked up as neighbors spread word of their family's resilience. Sofia began teaching other teens about anxiety, using Luna to demonstrate calming techniques. Marcel, inspired by his sister, enrolled in night classes for engineering, determined to honor Joao's belief in their potential. Late one night, Marcel found Sofia and Luna on the balcony, the dog's head in her lap. "Thank you," Sofia said, her voice steady, "for believing in me." Marcel smiled, the weight of his father's absence lighter now. Their family had been forged in loss, but strengthened by truth. Joao's legacy lived on, not just in Luna's gentle presence, but in Sofia's courage and Marcel's newfound purpose.